What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode number 40 of Reezy Talks. Today, I am blessed to have Ashley, aka Cashley, aka Hustle at Home Mom, here with us. How are you doing, Ashley?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Me and Ashley were just talking about Q4 and the madness of it all. Things selling like right when they check in, just spending ridiculous amounts of money and feeling insecure about it. But at the same time, it's all selling. So it's okay, but you're still spending ridiculous amounts of money. So it's kind of nerve wracking. For those of my followers that don't know who you are, can you give them the quick 5-minute introduction into who you are, where you come from, how you got into reselling, and what your current situation is? I'll remind you
Yeah,
if you forget any of that.
for sure. Yeah. Okay. So my name's Ashley. I am married with two kids and we live in Salt Lake City. And I started doing this a year and a half ago. And I had heard about it on, I don't know if anyone listens to the podcast or like the Smart Passive Income podcast, with Pat Flynn. And it was like episode 99 or something. They talked about FBA. A couple went on and talked about FBA and how it replace their incomes. And I thought that sounds really interesting. And so from there, I just like went down the rabbit hole. So I started with Amazon. Like I just started with Amazon, and like that night, like I was so like I have the type of personality, and like I know you Reezy, you can relate. Like when I hear about something interesting, I like just do it. I don't really do tons of research. I'm just like, okay, I'm interested and I want to do this. So that night it was
Awesome.
like 11:30. I went to Walmart because they had mentioned that they go to Walmart, like the clearance aisle, and I found these like little mosquito refill candles, and they were selling for $3. And then on Amazon, the app said, because I just quickly signed up for an Amazon account right there, and got the app. The app said that they were 25, and I was like, this is a joke. This isn't real because that can't be real, those margins. So I bought as many as I could find. I bought a few other things without knowing about sales rank or anything like that. And then I that night boxed it, like it was like 3 in the morning when I went to bed. I boxed it up, figured out how to found a YouTube video and figured out how to print it, label it, and that was it. So like I went through the first box, sent it in, and then a week later when it checked in, we saw those sales come in from those stupid candles. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. So my husband and I were like, well, this is the proof of the concept. So after
That's
that, it
so
was just
awesome.
I just dove right in and like have not stopped. So my first so like my I at first I started doing just retail arbitrage like at Walmart. Like that was honestly where I mostly went. I didn't know any better. And then that's when I just started following your YouTube channel, Chaz, Side Hustle Pros. I followed so many others, and like just any podcast I could listen to, any YouTube video I could watch, any Instagram I could follow. Like I creeped on yours before I got mine for like a year. Like I just wanted to know what are they doing and how can I do that. So I learned, and that's when I got like after a couple months of doing Walmart clearance, I went into books hardcore, and that's where I followed just all your videos. It's so funny because like I just watched all your videos and I was like, okay, he's at Savers and he's scanning all these books and he has this thing, and what is he using? And like I just did some research and got my own KDC scanner, FBA scan, watched your video about eFlip, so did that. Like I just totally, like you're totally an inspiration for me. So
That's so
I
awesome.
loved books just because I had only $1,000. So my husband was like, here's $1,000. Let's see what you can do. Like I'm not comfortable going all in, even though he's like all in with Bitcoin, but like he doesn't trust my business, which is ironic. So yeah, so he was like, here, take 1,000. So I took that 1,000, and by the end of December of last year, I had turned that into 35,000 in sales just on Amazon. And like that's like how powerful Amazon is. And books. If you can find cheap stuff, like I went to every garage sale, yard sale, offer up, like I was obsessed. Like I probably should have slowed down a little bit. And my kids are only in preschool, so I should probably mention that. My kids are only in preschool 3 days a week for 2.5 hours at a time. So that's all the time I have to work during the week, 7.5 hours. And then Saturday mornings, garage sales, yard sales. maybe evenings if I can squeeze in an hour here and there, but that's about it. So I'm trying to do the part-time equivalent of like what you and all the other big dogs do. Like I'm definitely small beans, but like I'm trying to do what I can with the time I have. And if anyone had told me that as a stay-at-home mom, I could do this from home and make the money I'm making, I would have told them they were crazy until I actually jumped into it and tried it. So anyway, so my first year was Amazon, my first half year. And then I started doing eBay in January when I followed people like the Posh Hanger and States Place and others who were doing clothing. And I had never even thought, I skipped the clothing aisle. You know how it is when you're going for books. Like you just skip the clothes
Right.
and you go straight to the books and you scan those and like that's it. Or VCRs, or I go to the toys and look for anything in the box. But then I started looking for clothing and that's when my world opened up again, eBay. So like started eBay. eBay though, as you know, and as many people know, it's a much slower build. Like even though I've been doing it for a whole year and I've spent so much time on it, I'll probably by the end of the year only have cleared 20K in sales, whereas Amazon is close to 100K in sales this year. So
That's so awesome.
yeah, so, which is crazy to me. So yeah, so anyway, that's what I do. So now I balance my time between Amazon and eBay. I'm gonna reevaluate next year and see what place eBay has. Um, if I should scale that back. I think I might challenge myself to scale back with it because it is,
Time
I don't know,
consuming.
it really is. I don't know if that's been your experience as you've gotten back into it. It is more time consuming for me, and the
Right.
storage, like keeping it all at my house, and that's been a little bit of a struggle, but I do think it's worth it and it is a lot more fun. I will say it's fun to find stuff for eBay.
Yeah, it's because it's more like a treasure hunt, right? Whereas
Yeah.
Amazon, it's more like get your stuff, get out, get your money. Like it's real
Right.
business about it.
Totally. And
Put your
like
Amazon suit on and go scan some barcodes or some
ex-
spreadsheets.
exactly. Like I'll just go scan. I scanned a bunch of HIV test kits one time and I bought them like because they were going to sell for twice as much. And like that's how it is with Amazon. I don't care what it is. If it's a barcode, if it's going to make me money, cool. But eBay is more like you have to be thoughtful about it and you have to look for brands and it's more of a knowledge. You have to gain knowledge first and then you'll really start to grow with eBay. But I love it and I want to keep it alive.
So what
And
are your
I
numbers like right now?
So right now I'm at 7,000 for the last 30 days on Amazon and 3,000 for the last 30 days on eBay. And I'm hoping that by the end of December, um, like this whole year, my goal was to hit 100K in sales from January 1st to December 31st. And I hit that in November. So I'm now just
So
kind of,
that's like what, like 120,000 gross?
yeah,
I
gross.
mean,
And
or
then,
at that speed anyways.
yes. So yeah, so that's my gross sales.
What do you think
My,
your net is? Like 75,000?
I wish. I don't think it'll be that. I think for Amazon, it'll be probably 35 to, I mean, it's roughly a third after fees and everything because I was doing, well, maybe more. I need to go and see my numbers.
Right.
I'm gonna guess though 30 anywhere from 35 to 40 because I did do a lot of garage sale stuff that had high margins. So
Right.
like anywhere from 35 to 40. And then with eBay, it's such better margins because they don't take as much out and
And
you're
so
shipping
what
everything.
was your last career that you had?
So before I started doing this, I had a master's in psychology and I was a school counselor for high school, junior high, that kind
Did
of
that
thing.
pay well or no?
No, it was crappy. It was horrible. And like
Also probably pretty stressful, right?
it was stressful. It was
And you
really
had to be away from
rewarding.
the kids and then pay for daycare too.
No, so I actually didn't once my first son was born, it didn't work anymore. So I
Oh, okay.
finished my degree and then I just stayed home with him. But like that in and of itself was really hard. Like I didn't expect it to. I don't know how Rose's felt, but like but she's been like doing nursing school, right? Like she's been kind
She
of
goes to
busy the
school
whole
for
time
music.
for music. Oh, for music. Okay. So yeah, so for me it was really hard transition and I was really unhappy. I found myself just really getting kind of depressed because I had all these skills and I had all this excitement and like energy to like do something. And it was all focused on nap schedule, nursing, feeding the baby, My first son
Right.
was so fussy and really strong-willed, and he still is. He's a real struggle. So like it's been nice to have my own thing again that I have on the side, and that's making me really good money that like I didn't think I could do before.
So explain to I think you said it before, but how old are your kids?
They're 5 and 3.
And they're both ninjas.
They're both ninjas. Absolutely. They're crazy
Just
busy.
running
Yeah.
around beating each other up all the
Oh
time.
yeah, all the time. They're insane. I can't take them sourcing at all. Like I try and it's always a nightmare for me, for everyone around me, for like the staff. Like once I lost my son, he was running around. I had to like go to the front register at Nordstrom Rack and be like, I can't find my son.
That
And they had
reminds me of
to
a side joke I think I saw on Chris Lynn's Instagram or something. I don't remember what it was, what content it was, but he was talking about something about thrifting or sourcing, and then people were like, "Well, yeah, at least you don't have kids." And he was like, "I'll go thrifting with your kids." And they were like, "Yeah, I'd like to see that happen."
right, he has no idea. No, I mean, before you have kids, you have no idea. But you've lived
Right,
most of your life with a child. So, but yeah,
right.
like I feel like yeah, that's what like my challenge for Chris is whenever I end up in the NorCal area, I'm gonna drop my kids off to him. He can go sourcing with them, try to do his day's worth of work with them in tow, and then record it for a YouTube video. And
Yeah.
then I'll just sit back and eat popcorn and be like, just watch him melt down and go crazy. So yeah, so like, so they had to, so yeah, once they had to call like a code Adam in Nordstrom Rack, and like
Oh
they finally
no.
found him, and I was like so embarrassed, like oh my gosh, my kids are insane. So I try to
In your
do.
defense, though, he probably was like running off and hiding from you, though.
He was in the racks inside those clothing
Oh, of
racks, like
course.
he was
That's the best
hiding.
place to hang out at the clothing store. Those are little hideouts.
Exactly, exactly, and like touching all the clothes. I'm like, don't touch anything. Your hands are like
Oh, the white
sticky.
clothes with like cheese ball fingers.
Oh my gosh, nightmare. So
So, let's talk about like what an average working day is for you. Do
yeah,
you said you don't work at all when you do have the kids, or you work after they go to bed, or
yeah.
like let's run through a day with the kids.
Yeah, so
W-
like I do try to be present when they're with me because like I don't want to be like I feel super guilty at the end of the day when like I've just been working the whole time and they've had to be like on the iPad or watching a show and like I've not been. I don't know, I just feel so bad and like I don't like that feeling at the end of the day. So, and that's not why I did this. It's like not why I have to like remember why I'm doing this and it's so I can do something as a stay-at-home mom and like keep that first. So like I'm a mom first and I'm a wife first, and then this business comes. So I try to like put that priority first. So my typical day is like I get up and I go running. That's like my meditation. Like I love to run. We have a lake near us. I just run around it and
How far do
I
you
listen to
run?
a podcast. Like I try to do 4 to 5 miles a
Nice.
day. And I do miss it. I trained for the Salt Lake Marathon a couple years ago and that was really fun, but I don't have time to do that right now. So yeah, so I'll try to do my run and then I'll come home and shower, get ready. This is on an ideal day. Some days I don't do this, but um get the kids up, breakfast, and then if it's a preschool day, we'll get all their preschool stuff ready and send them off to preschool. And then that's just 2.5 hours. So during that time, even though I want to clean the house, I don't because I want to do what I want it like what I can while they're gone. Like I can clean the house while they're with me. That's something that they should be a part of too, even though they're often not.
That makes
And then
sense.
I do my shipping for eBay and I'll do online arbitrage for Amazon. That's kind of what I've shifted to because going out and sourcing, I realized there's just a ceiling for me because I'm just so limited with my time. So
Right,
I've
because you
now that I
spend
have
like part of your 2 hours driving there and back.
yes, yes, and then scanning, and then if it's a bad trip and I
In
end up with
online
nothing.
arbitrage, I'm assuming you're using tactical arbitrage.
I was. Um, I was using tactical arbitrage, but now I'm using other methods and it's
Which
been
is
really good. Like just finding deals manually. Like finding like going like I manually am doing it now because I my frustration with tactical arbitrage was just the like how many people were doing it too and how my prices would tank every time. But I did have for a while a virtual assistant who found me deals using tactical arbitrage and that worked out okay. But then in the end like the fees just added up and I so for now, I mean I might come back to it. Like I don't want to say never and it is a really cool tool. Um but I've been able to find really good deals by other means. And I'm trying to
Oh, you mean just like
go that
going to a
route.
website, looking in the clearance section, looking at stuff, comparing it to
Right.
Amazon?
Exactly. Websites that tactical arbitrage does not go to yet or doesn't have yet, because then I have an advantage with and also like just deals that are there's a lot of like the Twitter handles that do deals, or like
Yeah.
um
Shout
there's
out to
one
Fat Kid Deals.
right, right. Like there's one that's dansdeals.com. Dan's Deals, he does Amazon deals all day, he does price glitches, he does flight deals, he does points, credit card points deals. So I'll follow him. That's like a big tip for all your followers. I don't usually shout that one out. But like like on Dan's Deals, for example, I found these strollers that I think it was even a price mistake. These they sell for 600 on Amazon and they bought them for 169. I bought three because I wanted to hurry and check out before it died, and it died pretty quick after.
Right.
But those are the alerts that I get via Twitter. So I'll on Twitter, the only reason I really have it, other than talk about college football, is to like follow these deal sites. These like there's a lot of them. I mean, you just can search and find a ton of them, and then just get the alerts when they tweet out, because they're usually deals that you have to jump on quickly or else they die.
Yeah.
So when I get an alert for one that like, oh, that looks interesting, I'll quickly go in, buy it from my phone, and there's my OA. And I also do manual searches, or and like the nice thing is too, my virtual assistant, when that was working, we had a big fat spreadsheet of like every deal, like hundreds of items, every deal she found for me, and I highlighted the ones that worked, and I go back to those still, and I still order them. So there's some that like some of them aren't live, some of them become live again, and I'll just go back
So
and do those.
but it's replenishable. So it wasn't
Yeah,
really
to
a
some
sale
degree.
item.
To some degree, exactly. So but
Nice.
like not that it's I'll be honest, not that it's like my favorite way to source. Like I don't know that there's any one best way. I love books just because the margins are so great, and with these OA items, a lot of times the margins are not great, and that's kind of tough. Um, so yeah, so I don't know. Those are just some of the things I've been doing, but um,
So
yeah,
after doing your online arbitrage and then you go pick the kids up from daycare?
I'll pick them up from preschool. Just yeah, I'll pick them both up, and then I'll usually have my eBay shipping in the car, and then we'll drive over to the post office just because I like it when they scan it in. And like
Yeah.
I don't like I don't know. I should probably do postal pickup, but like I'm worried things will get stolen from my porch. So like and plus I usually only have a few items, so I'll just drive up, and usually it's the drop in I can do, or or like I'll have them scan it in while like I see them. And yeah, and then we just go about our day. We do reading lessons, we do grocery shopping, clean the house, kind of. um, and then at night, once they're in bed, then I'm like, okay, I usually have OA shipments to do. I have been using a prep center that's been doing that for me actually, so that's been something that's been new.
What prep center
Um,
are you using?
I Prime Zero Prep is the one that I've been using. I
It's
don't know
working
that
good
I'm
for you?
I don't know that I'm super thrilled with how
Like
I don't know.
what are the things that you don't like?
For like, I feel like not to throw. I'm sure they give other. I'm sure that they've done better with other people. I must seem like a small, tiny fish to them, so they don't. They didn't reach out to me and like help. Like with customer service, that's been really bad. Like I needed a walkthrough. I'm like, how do I do this for you the right way? They like I did made a few errors, and they would email me back and be like, no, that's wrong. I'd be like, well, then tell me how to like reach out to me and have someone call me and step by step, let's go through it so I'm doing it right for you. So I wasn't impressed with customer service. They are increasing their fees. And not only that, but I had a shipment that arrived from them that had shipping errors on Amazon, like that. Apparently they weren't labeled at all. And I was like, what the heck am I paying you for if you can't do this right? And then when I emailed them and said, hey, I have these shipping errors, they said it wasn't their fault. So I was like, that, yeah. So like, I don't know, like I don't want to blast them because it has been nice. It is tax free, a tax free state, so I'm not paying sales tax on my items. But I haven't been super impressed. So honestly, I will probably be looking for a new one next year. And it's just, or I might just cancel it. And my goal for next year is to do my first private label product. So I'm thinking maybe I'll just
Hustle at
stop
home mom
away.
headbands or something.
Right. Right. You've been getting after me to do that.
You need to bring it
Uh,
out, or the hustle like a mother shirts.
right. I should. I really should. So yeah, so that's gonna be, I think that's gonna be my primary focus for Q1. Even though it'll be scary, I really want to do it because I have faith in myself that I can do it. And I am getting tired of the OARA game of going
Yeah,
out
because
hunting for
it's
one
you.
thing.
Yeah, it's putting in one, getting out one, putting in one, getting out one, like every single time, you
Right.
know. And
Yeah.
I was just talking to someone about it today. I was like, so in order to do like $1 million in retail arbitrage or online arbitrage, you know, you need, well, I guess if you had a prep facility, it'd be a little different. But if you didn't, you know, it'd be like, okay, small warehouse or a gnarly packed garage and like 2 to 3 full-time employees to hit 1 million. And then that would be, you know, probably like 30% profit.
Uh-huh.
Whereas with private label, people are doing like 1.5 million and it's just them. And unless I'm mistaken, I don't see these people like working 40 hours a week.
Exactly. See that, and it's a scary leap, but like I don't know how you feel about this, but one of the reasons I like Amazon is because a lot of people aren't doing it. I mean, there are tons of people doing it, but I like when there's barriers to entry, when it makes someone scared or I can't figure it out. That means that if you are willing to figure it out, then there's you're not competing with quite as many people. So that's why private label, it doesn't sound like too many are doing it. I mean, I'm sure there's tons. It'll be competitive, but like the opportunity is there. And like you said, like the only way, because I've been reflecting this year a lot on like, okay, how can I maximize my time? If I'm pretty much at my ceiling, 100K, 120K a year in gross sales is probably about what I can do unless I do higher priced items. So I'm like, well, then I'm going to need to do private label because that's going to be a one person show that can do 1 million a year. That's the only way that I'm going to be able to really scale. So I figure why not? And we don't need the money. My husband makes a good income. So I can afford to take time to figure it out. It's just actually stopping and doing it because I'm like, I'm missing out. I get fear of missing out. Like, I'm missing out on the thrifting and the, books and everything else. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna try to do.
Got to make it happen. Weren't you
Yeah.
selected to be one of Watch Me Amazon's wholesale
Yeah.
mentorees? Did
Yeah.
that not
And
work
that's
out for you,
actually
or what happened
it
with that?
did. No, yeah. I mean, no, we talked and he said private label. He kind of told me like wholesale because I'm in a very unique situation. I have very limited time. I'm a mom and a wife first, and I'm not willing right now to give up more time than that. Just because I want to be there with my kids while they're growing up. Like this is just something that I want to do. I don't want to lose out on this time. And because I have like let's be honest, I have time when they're in school later, I have time later to like build my empire and be, queen of the world or whatever. But like right now, I don't have that time and I want to cherish it with the kids. So the only way, like he and I talked, like really the only way, like warehouse, like I'd need a warehouse like him and wholesale, like I would need a ton of capital, um, and I would need employees and all that to scale like he has. And that's something I just can't do right now. So yeah, he encouraged me to move into private label.
Real quick, I got to address one of the persons in the chat. Darcy Cardinal tipped twice, $10 Canadian, which I don't know what that equals to in American money, but I definitely appreciate it. And they were wondering like what to do in how to do what we do in Canada, and it's really similar. I'm not sure what type of websites in Canada are supported by some of the online arbitrage software, but there has to be some or a software specific for them. I do believe that maybe Nitoscan works with database in Canada. I'm not 100% sure on that, but there's a couple Canadian Facebook groups for reselling, and I definitely recommend that you join those and check out the information that they have going on over there. A lot of the stuff that's going on in America, you can do that in Canada as well. The market's just a little bit different. It's not as developed, but it's also not as saturated. And I would assume it's going to go more towards the way of how the American market is. So it's kind of, I like to think of selling on Amazon in other countries as like traveling back in time a little bit, you know? So someone just told me in France, they're like 1 out of every 5 books doesn't have an FBA offer. And I was like, dude, that's a gold mine. That's like America 12 years ago when I first started. So take advantage of that head start that you guys have. And since you follow us in the Americas, we kind of pioneered it or whatever. So you're watching us, so you have a head start, which I also think means that period is not going to last for as long because you don't have to pioneer it. You can just copy Americans or whatever. Um, so yeah, so the wholesale's on pause until you can get more space going, or what?
Right. So currently my garage, and anyone who's been following me on Instagram knows it's filled with car parts because I found this guy who was liquidating. He bought out a store, kept one thing, and just liquidated the rest. And so
He
after
kept
talking
one
to
thing.
one type of thing, like
Okay.
just hubcaps, and then
Okay.
didn't have the space for the rest, and didn't have the
This was like a
patience and
standard
the
auto parts
knowledge.
store.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So yeah, an
Okay.
auto parts store downtown. And I after talking to some more knowledgeable people than me, I realized that for $6 a piece for these items, it was a really good deal. So we cleared out our garage, and we, with 3 truckloads later, we got them all to our house. And so yeah, so I'm hoping that this pays off, and I think it will. The returns are going to be really good. They are going to be on eBay because I'm restricted on Amazon auto parts, unfortunately. So yeah, wholesale just right now, honestly, like I'm going also with like my gut, and like I just feel like in my gut the private label has always been the draw to me. Like I've always been more interested and intrigued by that because it's my own without competition. I really get annoyed with like the price tankers, and like if it comes down to like competition, like as a stay-at-home mom, I can't compete with these giant like machines like Larry's warehouse, who gets, I
Right.
mean, he's making huge orders and he's got money and influence behind him. And I just don't. So while I am working on making connections and finding people locally who can help me, like get me sourced like products, like locally finding people who are liquidating, or like the books at the school I did. Like I went to a school that was closing its doors and bought out all their textbooks for $200, and they sold for 10 grand, like trying to
Nice.
find those kinds of things.
Yeah, that's like the
Um,
once a year
yeah,
amazing buy.
right. Oh, I knew that. I was like, that is incredible. But yeah, like private labels always pulled at me. So I'm gonna just go for it. Like if it keeps pulling at me, I'm like, okay, my gut's telling me go in that direction. So that's what I'm gonna try to do.
Nice. Someone in the chat is saying that auto parts is an easy category to get ungated for. I'm assuming you've tried to get
Okay.
approved for it,
I mean,
right?
it's so right now I have an intellectual property or no, a item, inauthentic item against me on Amazon from
For what?
someone who, for a Nintendo 64 controller that was authentic, but someone claimed it wasn't. I sent pictures to Amazon and they're being belligerent about it. And so it's still on my thing. So right now I'm not getting auto approved for things like I was a few months ago. So but with cars, anyway, back to the cars, I think they want you to have a website, and it seemed very tedious. Like a
Yeah, someone
website
was
with all
saying
your
just set
parts,
up a
and
cheap website, like get a Wix
yeah,
website built up and just throw some car parts on there and then send them the link.
I
Hustle
should
at home,
honestly,
bombthemechanic.com.
I like it. Yeah, honestly, yeah, maybe I should do that. It is taking up a lot of space. That would be a pretty good idea, maybe, to do that.
Yeah, because I mean, that's a lot of greasy, or I guess they're not greasy, they're clean, but it's
They're
a lot of
clean, but
space, right?
it's a lot of space, and it is,
They're all pretty.
yeah.
Is there some heavy stuff, or is it like
No,
like light bulbs and stuff
they're
for
very
cars?
light. They're really light. Most of them are um, grills and grill inserts and overlays, and then element shields and door handles and things like that. So, um, So yeah, I that's really good to know. I didn't know like if you could just throw up a cheap website. Maybe I'll try that. Like stick
Yeah,
some of
just
my items
hire
on.
get your VA to do that. You don't have time for
Yeah,
that.
that's true.
Man, a VA is a beautiful thing. I have a couple VAs. I have one helping me now with editing my YouTube videos and another one for designing for merch. And it's just it like learning how to hire a VA opened my eyes to that whole world, and I'm like, wow, like what else do I not have to do? Like it wasn't as hard as I thought it was to hire a VA, it didn't take as long as I thought it was. And it's just like, I give my VA some footage and I wake up in the morning and I have a YouTube video. Like that's an amazing thing because normally I would spend, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 hours editing something for a 10-minute video and it just wasn't worth it.
Hmm. Definitely. And
Um,
that's a really good point. And that's something I really need to maximize my VAs. And like I get scared about spending the money just because I am so limited right now with my income. But I mean, not like I have the money, but it does get there. You know how it is, like repricers money and then software's money and like
None of it's Ashley's money.
right. Yeah, I haven't taken a paycheck yet. So like, but it is true. But you know what? If that's the thing I need to get over is that a VA will free up my time to make better decisions and more money my way, and it will
Right,
free up a
because
lot of time for
like
me.
I pay $4 an hour for video editing. So like a lot of other things are going to be like $2 an hour or even less, right? So it's like
Yeah.
data entry, like 63 cents an hour. Like who knows how I don't know, that might be too little, but I feel like it's just if I can get video edited for $4 an hour, then you should be able to get a lot of stuff for like $1 an hour.
That's very true.
So let's talk about like a lot of stay-at-home moms might think that life is too stressful or that they don't have any options or they can't do this. Like what is your advice to the other stay-at-home moms out there that maybe they feel overwhelmed or maybe they want some more income but they just they don't think they can find the time to do it or I mean everyone's different, but what's your message to them based on like what you've done?
That I think that's a huge like why, like one of my whys for like why I'm even like on Instagram and doing this is like I do want to help other moms who maybe felt like I did. Like the only option was to take a $10 an hour job, pay the daycare $8 an hour and take home $2. Like that's not your only option. And like one, you have to have just you have to know yourself. I have an obsessive personality that like just jumps into things and gets like really into it and like that drives me to keep going and doing this. So if you don't have that kind of personality or this doesn't interest you and capture you and like captivate you, then this probably isn't for you because it's a grind sometimes, like right, like you have to like it's day in day out finding new things and like for like Gary Vee says, right, like for 2 years you're gonna eat crap, right? You're just building, 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 and like, but that's the thing is that I do this as a stay-at-home mom with my kids. They're gone a little bit each week, but like for the most part, I'm with them. I'm at home. I get to like, I get to control this on my time. Um, so yeah, so I would say to them, like, there is absolutely time if you are I have a really good friend who saw what I did and she started just doing books. And so she just did books and like from there that was her gateway into other things. But like just doing books and just starting with like scanning books at the thrift, like she quickly went up to $3,000 a month on Amazon. Like that's pretty incredible. So there is time. There's definitely time. It's just what are you willing to sacrifice?
Did
Are
you
you
have to
willing to
cut out some stuff that you were doing before? Like, were you watching Game of Thrones nonstop or something?
Gilmore Girls had to go. No, like, no, yeah, like you have to cut out, like, you have to cut out a lot. There's not a whole lot, like, crafting doesn't happen for me. Um, my house is okay, but like the decorating isn't super great. Like, there's a lot that I've kind of given up. It's not, I'm kind of a neat freak and my house isn't as clean as I'd like it to be. Um, and there is clutter places because of my eBay store, but like, I kind of gave up just that time at night when I would watch a show. Like that's kind of just what I gave up. Or relaxing time while the kids are at preschool. I gave up naps. I gave up shows at night. I gave up some sleep. Um, that's really it. Like it's funny, like, when people are obsessed with the show, they're like, and they binge watch like what, like 3 seasons in 2 days, right? You can make time for something if it means something to you. And so this is really important to me and it means something to me. It's exciting to me. I like the sales. I like seeing my progress. So at night when the kids are in bed, I'm like, okay, I want to keep seeing that progress and growth and I don't mind doing it. But like just know yourself. Is that your personality? And if you really want that extra income each month, I would say books are a great place to start. Start with a few $100s, go to a thrift store, scan books, send it to Amazon, just watch that grow and grow and give yourself a few $100. Like this is such a nice model. Like you with eBay or Amazon, you can just make a extra few $100s a month, $1,000 a month. Like you don't have to be as
Yeah, you can.
crazy as
It's
us.
crazy. You can do whatever you want. You could make
Yeah.
$100 a month. You could make $1,000 a month. You could make 10,000. You could make. You could do 100,000 a year. You could go full Larry and do 10 million a year. Like
Right.
it just depends on what you can stay. You can do whatever you want. Like I really regret that I sold books for 10 years straight and didn't even like really look into anything else because I would have killed it in those other categories like 10 years ago. But I slowly went from books to board games to CDs to DVDs to like, oh wow, you can sell all kinds of stuff. And then I like realized
Right.
it like 10 years later.
Yeah.
Because
And
I
you're
learned
probably
about
ungated in
Amazon.
everything,
Yeah, I learned
right? Like,
about Amazon through I never heard of the website Amazon until I found out that's where people were selling books, right? So
hmm
don't make my mistake. Check out different categories. You can, like Ashley says, you can use books or cheap inventory, yard sales, free stuff off Craigslist, like stuff your neighbors give you, your own house, whatever, to get going on eBay or Amazon. And then from there, you have options, right? You have a little bit of money now, so you can try private label. I have a follower of mine. Shout out to Gabe Diaz. He's 16 years old. He's a freshman in high school or a sophomore. I'm not sure, but he sells private label on Amazon, and he does almost $1,000 a day when he's in stock with products. And I believe
that's crazy.
he's doing like 50% margin, but he's teaching me stuff now because I didn't know there was a generic category on Amazon, like generic items, right? And
hmm
so he's in there and he's jungle scouting products, and then he's not like white labeling it or he's not even doing it really. He's just ordering it from AliExpress, which is
hmm
more expensive than if he ordered it from like DHgate or from
Right.
Alibaba. And then he's just listing it on the existing listings that are in the generic category that aren't branded at all.
hmm
So obviously, like anybody could do that, and
Yeah.
he's making like 50% plus margin on random stuff, and he just got a car. He was doing books for a while. He was riding his bicycle to yard sales to buy books, and then he'd be like, "My backpack's full. I can't buy anymore. What should I do, Reezy?" And I'd be like, "Can you call your dad to pick you up?" And now he has like deals with local thrift stores, and I think he just got a car, and he does lacrosse full time, like state champion, or rugby or something. I don't know, but anyways, the point is that there is so much opportunity available for the people that want to get it, and there's a million ways you can do it. There's a way that like to do this that you might like. Maybe you really like fashion, so you want to sell clothing, and you like. If I sold clothing, I would sell like everything, just because that's just how I am. But a
Right.
lot of people specialize. If you look at like John, Travel and Thrift on Instagram, he sells like
Right.
mostly shoes and purses. I think like
Right.
almost
High
exclusively,
end.
and
Yeah.
like high end, like a lot of women's shoes and purses and high end men's shoes, stuff I wouldn't even know about it, but he's learned. And
hmm
Posh Hanger, she sells like mostly women's clothes. I think maybe entirely women's clothes and just like
hmm
higher end stuff. So there's so many different
Absolutely.
ways to do it, which is like the really interesting part for me, like you
Yeah.
could literally my Luna was like raking up the leaves the other day, and I was like, it was like a box of leaves, and this is how twisted my reseller mind is. I was like, could you sell a box of leaves on eBay? And I was like, I bet you could. Like somebody wants a box
There's
of
a
foreign
buyer.
leaves for their house. Like
Right. Yeah,
it's
like you're exactly right. That's like the beauty of this. And that's what I wish everyone knew. Like they'll see what I do and they're like, I don't know how to do that or I don't care or that doesn't interest me. It's like, well, what does? Like, what avenue do you want to go down? Poshmark, go on Poshmark and sell clothes like the Deal Queen, who I love. Like, there's a million different ways at Mercari. Like, there's people who just sell on Facebook Marketplace. Like, and do you want to cultivate a closet of beautiful things, or do you want to just do antiques, or like hard goods, or do you sell HIV test kits? Like, what do you like, And like, you can do anything. I'm more like you. I'll sell anything that will make me a profit. I don't really have a preference. Like, I like, and I have kind of ADD with it almost. Like, I dive into one thing. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. And I learn that. And then I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I want to learn that. And then, yeah, it's probably a detriment to my detriment, actually. But yeah,
You're
like
learning a
private
lot
label.
though.
I am learning a lot, and I want to say, like, I am blessed to have. I don't have the pressure of supporting my family with this. And I do feel for those that do, or I respect and admire those that do, because they can't, I can afford to like have ADD and go all in with eBay, or move away from books and just do eFlip and just do OA, or hire a VA, or do, I can take 3 months off and just do private label, like, but many can't. So I just want to, if you have the flexibility like that, I guess for me, I'm like, why not? Why not just learn everything and see what I like? But
Right.
yeah, like, it's really
You
cool.
you
So many
mentioned you
opportunities.
briefly mentioned Bitcoin. I can't let you get away without asking
Yeah.
about it.
Oh man, you're about to open the floodgates, because that's all my husband and I talk about.
You know a lot about
Bitcoin,
Bitcoin
Litecoin.
yourself?
Yeah, yeah. Just from him, because my
Next
husband works
week's
in the.
next week's show, I'm gonna have a Bitcoin expert on the show, Chris
No way.
Dunn from Chris Dunn TV. You might have seen him on Rally Roots channel. He's friends with Ryan and Allie. He interviewed
Oh,
them
cool.
a while back for his show or whatever, but he's gonna be
Uh-huh.
on to teach us all about Bitcoin. Like I had 10 Bitcoins when they were $350 a coin, and I sold them all at 675, and I was like, yes, I
Reezy.
did it. Yes. Yes.
No, that will literally kill my husband. Oh my gosh, he, like, yeah, like that. So my husband, for his job, he majored in finance and information systems, and for his job, he works for the Fortune 500 company, and like, he does all this stuff. This is like all he does is audit and finance and whatever. And so he goes to these conferences. The company will pay him to go out, like Vegas and to Phoenix or other places, and like they'll talk about is blockchain, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and like give these very in-depth, because I think a lot of people don't understand it, and so that's what scares them, right? Like,
Right.
and there is a barrier to entry, like we talked about. Like, you have to set up your Bitcoin wallet, and you have to have a secure, like, my husband got a laptop just to set up his Bitcoin wallet, and like set everything up like that. So it can be confusing, but it is, I believe, the wave of the future. Like, this is the future of currency, because you can take a
For sure.
third world country that has no currency at all, and boom, instantly with cryptocurrency, they have a
Right.
currency
Well, even if they
system.
do have currency, it's like toilet paper currency. It's not
Right,
worth anything, right? They get more money out
right,
of burning it than they do holding it. And that's just
right.
because of their governmental situation and everything. But
Yeah.
and they have Bitcoin, but they don't have access to Bitcoin. I think a lot of third world
Hmm.
countries, the only technology they have access to is like SMS text messages over cell phone
Right,
networks. So like
right,
your village has a old Nokia and I have a Nokia, then we can text each other and we don't have to run over to your village to ask you, if you want to trade a goat for a cow or whatever,
right.
which is a huge advantage. So just imagine, I don't know if it's possible yet, but if you could buy and
Yeah,
sell and
one day.
transact Bitcoins with text messages, that would open it up to third world economies. And
Absolutely.
because they do have cell phone networks, and then that would change the game, and that would make the price in other markets go up and whatnot. But
Absolutely. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
I
like,
feel I feel like that too, but I feel like I'm undereducated. Like I almost bought some at 3,500 a coin, and then I was like, huh, okay, cool. Now it's 11,000 a coin. I'm like, oh god, like I just keep feeling like I always want to buy some, but I feel like it's got to drop at some point. Like it can't just keep going
yeah,
up. And so
right.
that's my main pain point with Bitcoin is like I feel like the moment I buy some, it's gonna drop down to like 3,000.
Right. No, and that's like, I totally get the fear. I have that fear too. As my husband's like putting more in, I'm like, like, are you sure? But like, the benefit is there's a limited number. Like, the inflation that happens with American money, like, it can happen. They print more all the time, like it
Right.
doesn't, there's no value to it. Like it could, we don't know what the government's doing with it. With Bitcoin, there's no government involvement. There's no, like, peer-to-peer transactions are faster, quicker, easier. Like, and there's only 20, I think he said there's 21 million Bitcoin that they're doing, and then that's it. Like once it's all mined. So like the fact that there can't be inflation with it, I think is a huge value too. Private transactions, governments out of it, I think that's a huge draw as well. More and more like things are happening with Bitcoin. A real estate transaction just near me happened with Bitcoin. Like, I don't know. I feel like the way my husband's better explaining, and I actually wanted him to come onto my Instagram and do a live and talk about it, but he like is too shy and he won't do it. So, dang
Let's
it. So
okay, let's
yeah.
do a split screen Instagram live, me and him.
Yes, right. I really want to. Like, I will
Like he
try
can
to
just
twist
pretend
his
like he's
arm.
talking to me, and because really, I just want to learn for myself. You guys get
Yeah.
to live vicariously, and I'll share that with you.
I'll try, I'll try to twist his arm. But when I mentioned it, he was like, "Oh no, 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 no! I can't do that. I don't know how you do what you do." So I was like rolling my eyes, like whatever, because he's not a shy guy. I don't know. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah,
So
no, I
yeah, we're
remember you
very
saying like you took a picture of him and he like almost killed you or something.
right. Right. He's like, Ash, stop. I don't know what it's funny. He's funny about social media. He's not on it. He's not on Instagram. He's not on Facebook really. He's just anyway, but yeah, we both are. So he's not only investing in Bitcoin, but there's other coins he's investing in.
Yeah,
So
Litecoin,
Litecoin's a big
Ethereum.
one. There's one that's gonna go internet, like that his company invested in, that's going to something about it's going to be available internationally soon, and whenever that happens, it increases. I don't know. So he's anyway. You'd have to talk to him. I'm very not knowledgeable about
Yeah,
it, but
let's do it. You guys, as a family, that's an asset that you guys hold, though. You have Bitcoins.
yes, that's part of our
Do
investment
you know how much you
portfolio.
guys have?
Yeah, I don't think I'm allowed to say, but
Okay.
here's how he was able to convince me. Is he we have like our net worth, right? We have our equity in our home and our retirement. We've been putting that away for, since we've been married or in before. And like, so we have like our 401ks, our kids' college funds each have 10 grand in them. So like we have like these safeties. We have our 6 or 8 month emergency fund. So like we don't have debt except for our house. So like we have these securities in place. Like I wouldn't recommend like with your last $1,000 that you just throw that into Bitcoin.
Right.
So like we have these safety nets in place. We would never invest a huge chunk of our net worth in it just because that's really risky and not very smart. Keep it in the stock market, like that's a better game plan. But we have taken a chunk, like my husband's like bonus he gets, like about that amount into cryptocurrency. And he's convinced me to do it. So hopefully it works out. And if not, we would be fine. Like if it didn't work out, okay, and it went to zero, we would be just fine. But like this is a risk we're willing to take because he believes in it.
Yeah, Aaron Klug or Kluge in the chat says go big or go home. And
Go big or
pretty
go.
much what that's pretty much what you
I
guys are
like
doing.
that. Kind of, yeah. So he not crazy amounts. We've invested a good chunk in it.
Awesome. Yeah, my business partner is a day trader, and so I keep trying to convince him to let's invest some money in Bitcoin, but it just keeps going up so damn fast that he's looking at it and he's like it's overextended. It's going to collapse soon. And so I just have to wait it out and then it
Yeah.
just goes up 4 or 5,000 more and I just go, "Damn it, Scott, look at it now."
Right. I know. And that's kind of what I mean. My husband's I mean, yeah, but he's going to these conferences and he's got this confidence in it. I hope it goes up. It'd be great. If it could go up and like we could redo my kitchen, that'd be awesome. But
That's
I
all
don't
that
know if that's
matters
gonna
to
happen.
Ashley
It's all
is if the
I
Bitcoin
really do want
can
to.
supplement the kitchen
I
remodel.
gotta get my kitchen's crazy. I want to redo it, but no, seriously though, he thinks it'll go up to 40K of coin next year. I don't know if that's true. We'll go back and watch this video later, a year later, and you can like be like, Ashley, you're so dumb. But who knows? Who knows what'll happen?
Yeah, awesome. So, you basically said that you're doing everything right now. Obviously, you have a garage full of car parts, but
Yep.
your future focus is most likely going to be Amazon and hopefully going to private label.
Yeah, definitely. That's my goal. Because this year I had a monetary goal. Next year my goal is just going to be how many private label items can I get up on Amazon and what can I learn from it? And even if I lose everything, I don't care because that really interests me the most. It's going to be my education next year. And really, Amazon is the perfect solution. I've been talking to, I don't know if you follow like Watch Me FBA, John. I was talking to him and Chris about this. For a busy stay-at-home mom, Amazon's so great because I had to put my store in vacation mode right now for eBay, and like I'm already getting like angry customer emails like, what about my stuff? Or I want to buy this and whatever. And I'm like, oh my gosh, calm down. But with Amazon, you just literally send it in and you just let it sell. Like it's that there's that freedom with it. And it does take up, like, with honestly with the 80/20 rule, Amazon was 80% of my sales, eBay was 20%. Amazon is 20% of the work, eBay is 80%. So like,
Amazon's
even though
80% of the profit.
yeah, probably. eBay's good, decent profit, and it is fun, but like, and I'm going to be keeping it alive to get those car parts sold, and I'm going to keep doing it. But yeah, I might put a pause on new inventory for eBay and just let the stuff that I have sell and focus my time on private label. I think that's going to be my plan, January to at least end of
Is
March.
is scheduling pretty big part of your success?
Absolutely. I have a planner that I use. I write down the most important things. I don't know if you've ever listened to Jocko Willink. He had a great, he did podcasts with like Tim Ferriss. Anyway, he did a great podcast about like plan out your day, write down what you're going to do, get up early, and just tackle the day. Like he has a really motivational
How do you
podcast
spell
about
that?
that.
His name?
Jocko, and then
Okay.
Willink, Willink. He's like a former Navy SEAL. Overall, like his workout routine he described is like 10,000 pull-ups, 10,000 sit. I swear it's like insane. But he's really cool, really, really cool, and very inspirational. And it is true. When I get up early and I'm ready to tackle the day, and I've done my shipping and I've done my run and I'm ready, I feel 1,000 times better than when I sleep and wake up when the kids do, and then I'm all out of sorts.
Right. Which is
So
a
that's the
which
key.
is a decision that has to be made because cuddle is a hell of a drug.
Right. Yeah. That's right. That's true. Yeah.
What's funny is
Um,
that for me, I was like, I don't know how it is with your husband, but I'm like chopped liver whenever mom is around, and mom leaves early for school. So after she leaves at like 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning, I get all the cuddles. And
oh
so
yeah.
that's when I'm getting all my cuddles, and I'm like, I gotta leave this? Like,
You
why?
have girls. No, you have girls though. Girls are probably cuddlier. My boys aren't very cuddly. I'll
Are they
try to
just like
squeeze
kick
in
you in the
cuddles.
face?
They're more active. They want to play lasers and ice. We play like superhero games where I shoot ice out of my hands, they shoot fire, and like we play that. They're not very cuddly unless like they're sleepy, and then they'll cuddle. But so yeah,
What
so yeah, they get up and they're insane. They get up in the morning and then they're just at it for the day. Like they are going for it.
So you mentioned Tim Ferriss and Smart Passive Income with Pat Flynn. What other podcasts do you
Yeah.
like to listen to?
To be honest, I don't know if this is going to be popular, but I like to listen to also like fiction stuff. Sometimes I get so obsessed. It's nice on my runs to like listen to something not business related because then I get like a little mental break. So like I just finished the podcast Dirty John. I don't know if it's like number one in iTunes or something. It's a crazy true crime story. And I'll listen to audiobooks. I really like to listen to fiction audiobooks. I wish I could say like,
Don't you don't have to
but then
laugh at yourself.
okay. But I'll mix it up with the Tim Ferriss podcast. Always, I really love him. Um, like Smart Passive Income. I'll listen to Dave Ramsey. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. Audiobooks and that and all of those.
Awesome.
So yeah. And
Um,
yours, obviously. Obviously
oh,
the Reezy
awesome.
podcast.
Thank you. So I'm doing my best. So this whole new format is much more interesting, me interviewing other people and introducing my audience to the whole world of resellers. And, now we're going to do cryptocurrency, and I want to just start interviewing interesting people of varied topics. And I got a new intro on my podcast. And so right now I think the podcast is on episode 28. I'm going to post 29, and then the next episode will be 30, which is the first episode of this new format with Monica. And then I'll post a couple episodes a week until I get caught up. So the plan is eventually to have it to where Monday night is the YouTube live show, and then by Tuesday morning, the podcast for that same show is ready to go. Because I know a lot of people can't really watch YouTube, or they're driving, or they're running 5 miles around the lake, or they're working out or whatever. So the podcast is
Yeah.
pretty useful for them. So
Yeah, for sure.
definitely love me some podcasts too. I really don't consume a lot of content. Like even if you're like my best friend and you're like, did you see my YouTube video? And I'm like, no, dude. Like I don't even watch
Yeah.
my own YouTube videos. Like who
Because you're
has time for
busy.
that? Yeah, who has time
Yeah.
for that? So I can make them,
Yeah.
and that's about it. But when I'll drive, and that's when I catch up. Like I used to hate driving to Disneyland, but it's like a 6.5 hour drive. But since I started listening to podcasts, I love it because I'm like, dude, I can catch up on like 6 months of Gary Vee. Like, let's
Yeah,
go.
that's true. That's very true. I would recommend if you are going to go on a road trip, Dirty John is really good. It's like serial kind of. It's really interesting. It's like an
And the
interesting
kids can
podcast.
hear it. It's not bad.
No, for kids, well, it's not super. Yeah, no, the kids probably could hear.
Go to
There's
sleep,
some
kids.
swear
We're
words. Yeah,
listening to
go to
true
sleep.
crime.
Like some violence. It's not super bad though. Like I would say it's PG-13 personally. So, yeah.
Yeah. So if you say it's PG-13, it's basically like G then, right?
So, yeah, because I don't really, I don't really watch a whole lot of, my
Someone called you
tolerance
out
level's pretty
earlier.
low.
Someone called you out earlier for what did you said? You said Gary Vee says eat crap for
Right.
yeah, and they're like, no, that's not what he says. He actually says
Right.
eat shit.
Right. I'm so used to keeping it clean that
No, it's
it just is
good.
a
It's
habit.
good, right?
But
I don't know what
I
I'm
don't
doing
fault
because like
those who
my
don't.
my channel is like basically a family channel now, show like lifestyle stuff, and I edit out the cuss words in my vlogs, and then like, oh, you're watching my vlog, and all of a sudden a live show comes on, and it's just all cuss words. So I don't know what I'm
It's
doing with
all
my life.
good. It's all good.
I'll figure it
It's
out at
all good.
some
Neither
point.
do I. I don't know. I never know what I'm doing. And hopefully like I don't come across like I'm misprofessional because I'm still learning. Like maybe
Right.
that's I'm a year and a half in. I've learned a ton and I've scratched the surface only on
Yeah,
what's possible.
real quickly, let's talk about your social media success because I remember there wasn't that long ago where you had like less than 1,000 followers, and I was
Yeah.
like telling you, I was like, you need to get on YouTube, and I was like, you would somehow like, how'd you come up with the name Hustle at Home Mom? Because like that's just
Um
a good name. You always had
I
it.
know. It's so funny, like, because it was in my head December of last year, and hopefully you can hear me. I don't know if my headphones are dying. If you can't hear me, I'll unplug
No,
them.
it's good.
But yeah, like last December, like I saw everyone on social media and I was like, it'd be cool to talk about what I do because this was such a huge part of my life that like my friends didn't really understand. I didn't know if I wanted them to understand because I do have that obsessive like side that I just was a little bit embarrassed of. So like, but I would tell people like, oh yeah, I sold, last December was 10K. Like I sold 10K this month and I bought 16 digital thermometers and they all gave me $100 profit each. And but they were kind of like, huh? Like they just didn't understand. So I was like, well, it'd be cool if I jumped on to social media and just was able to talk about all those things that I'm doing, like, because it gave me an outlet. And so I had that idea. It was either stay at home hustle or hustle at home mom. Like I had those two in my head. And then you did that YouTube video where you're just driving in the car and talking about like it's not 1920, get on social media. And like that was the moment I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. So I just
Yes,
after
I'm
that
so
video, I set
hyped.
it up, right? I just start and I found out like no one else had it. So I snagged the Instagram handle and I would have been thrilled to just have 1,000 followers. I would have been like, oh my gosh, like this is insane because I'm not a social media person. Like I never post on Facebook personally. My personal Instagram is very sparse. I'm not on it. So like I'm a shy person naturally. So like I wouldn't even take pictures with my friends. Like I was too shy and self-conscious. So to like do this was huge for me. So I just started it for fun. I just added people. I put some posts out and then it just like Monica found me really quick. I messaged her and she found me and was like so sweet and encouraging and then she told you and then like it just snowballed from there. And I don't even frankly, I don't know why people follow me. I'm a
She's
hot
such a good
mess.
connector. Monica is so
She
nice.
is
Like I've met so many
so
people
kind.
through her, and it's like just the way that I trust her judgment, and like I know she's just super no nonsense, like
Mhm.
she's like tougher than a lot of dudes that I know. And
Yeah.
so like when she says someone's cool, like they're cool.
Yeah.
And I remember when she showed me your stuff and I was like, "Oh my God, she's like the 21st century Rosie the Riveter. Like she's gonna kill it. Like she like
That's so nice.
you are single-handedly making it like not to say that it's bad to be a stay-at-home mom, but it's like I feel like you could revolutionize the term just like no, I'm not a stay-at-home mom. I'm a
Hmm.
hustle at home mom. Like
Yeah.
because I feel like there's this negative connotation like especially from men that don't understand it. Like have you ever seen those
Oh yeah.
videos like dad at home with the kids for like one full day like to see what mom's life is like? And I feel like a lot of people would be like, "Oh, you're just a stay-at-home mom." You're like, "Oh, really? I'm just a stay-at-home mom." Like, you think you could do it? Like, and obviously
Yeah.
they don't have kids, or if they do, they don't really parent them, or they're not actively involved, or they're just a dad, just to
Right.
just a go to work dad.
Right, right. No,
And
you're
so,
so right. There's a very condescending notion with stay at home mom. And I really I've even gotten on my Instagram DMs from guys who are like, "Are you kidding me? What you do isn't hard. Going to a 9 to 5 and slaving away is hard and blah blah blah." And I'm like, "I did that. Like I worked at a corporate job in the Bay Area, 10 hours a day, like weekends. I was and I've talked about this in my Instagram, like I was working full time. I was going to getting my master's, flying to Utah to get my master's one day a week. We were apartment managing the building that we lived in so that we could get free rent because we were broke. And like I did all that. Being a mom is 10 times harder, 100 times harder, 1,000 times harder because you just don't know until you do it. So like
and you can never. There's no. You don't get a break.
no,
Like
never.
my seriously, my
Especially yeah.
wife. Um, like obviously I'm home with Luna a lot, but I'm probably not as great of a parent as you are as far as being active. I'm like a lot. I'm like, okay, here's this game, here's the iPad, here's your homework. Like I'll check it when you're done. I'm on the computer, like let me put a movie on. Like but my wife is super like, okay, let's play board games, like just whatever Luna wants to do the whole time. And it's like,
Right.
I know it's stressful. And like one of the telltale giveaways is like she'll go to the bathroom and Luna will like wait outside the bathroom for her to get out and like knock on the door while she's in the bathroom. And Rosa will just be like, dude, I'm in the bathroom. This is my only break. Like, leave me alone for 3.5 minutes.
Oh yeah, yes. Oh my gosh, like going, yeah, those few minutes are like peace. Like someone's not touching me, needing me, like asking me a question. Like I'll often tell the kids like, or I sent this to my husband once, like this meme of Lawrence Fishburne from The Matrix saying like, "Did you know your dad could get you a glass of water too?" Like, as though like it would blow the kids' minds, right? But it's true because they ask me for everything. So, so
What if
yeah,
your dad
like
could get you a glass of
what if
water?
your
Oh
dad,
my
yeah, what if I
god.
told you your dad could, so
What
like,
if, what if I told you
so
your
yeah,
dad could make you a sandwich?
right, right. It's, but like,
Oh
I love
man.
it. I love that my kids need me, and I don't like parents who have three, four more kids. I admire so much. I don't know how they do it, but like, but yeah, like it's a super tough emotional job, especially when you have a strong-willed kid who's like really tough and very high need. Like that is super stressful. So it's almost like this business is the easy part of my life. Believe it or not, this is
Right.
easy. I could do this all day. I could find deals all day. I could ship all day. It's the day in day out. Stop throwing a tantrum, stop hitting your brother. Okay, let's get you dressed, and he's not doing it for the thousandth time and hitting other kids, and like dealing with all of that emotional, oh, he's not going to sleep, or
Yeah,
why is he doing
it's so
this, and am I
crazy.
disciplining
Like
enough? Yeah.
just the other day, Luna's watching Dragon Ball Super and I'm working and then I go to the garage and I come back and she's in her underwear. And I'm like, "What are you doing? Where are your clothes?" And she's like doing like martial arts moves in her underwear. And she's like, "I was hot. I was hot." And I was like,
Like, okay.
"Jesus, put your clothes back on." Like,
Put your clothes on, or stop drawing all over the walls, or why are you climbing up to the, like, my kids just have a superpower to find the most dangerous item in the house and like play with it and like and ruin things, break things, program the TV in a way of like, I don't know how did you get this in French mode, like I don't even know what they did. So like, but yeah, but it's not that it's not rewarding. It is, and there's so many wonderful moments in the day, and I love to see them excited. We're taking them to Hawaii with us, like, and I can't wait
when
to
are you
see how
going to
excited
Hawaii?
they're. Wednesday, so I'm going 2 days. and I cannot, and it's all paid
How
for
long
with
are you going
points.
for?
5 days. It'll be 5 days. So
You're going to
we're super
Oahu.
excited. Maui. We're going to Maui
Oh,
because we've
nice.
been to Oahu and Kauai, so now we're gonna hit Maui. See how it goes.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
actually going to Hawaii also. So
No way.
we're going for like way too long. We're going for 2 weeks. We're going from
That's
the 20th
awesome.
to the 3rd. So we're gonna have Christmas.
Oh my
We're gonna have
gosh.
Mele Kalikimaka in Hawaii
What
and
island?
New Year's, Oahu. Um,
Okay, very cool.
so I'm not
Your
exactly
first
sure
time
where
going?
we're staying yet. No, I've been there a
Okay.
bunch of times. My friend used to live there.
Okay.
But me
Very
and
cool.
my business partner are going, and both of our families. And I haven't
That's
seen my
awesome.
business partner for like a year and a half. So and we're like
Yeah,
good, really good high school friends and everything. So we're gonna have a great time. Like the whole family's all going. So
that's awesome.
and
Yeah,
he has
yeah.
like
I
a
low key follow. I follow your business partner, to Scott, right?
yeah,
Like I on social media. I followed him the same time I was following you, like back before I had Instagram, and I always just had he said something that stuck with me like for a long time. He's like, oh, it's okay. You can go ahead and sleep in. I'll just make your money for you, you know. And I was like, that's so true. Like if
yep.
I sleep in, he people are out there hustling before me, so I got to get up and get going.
He
Um,
also has a
but
pet
yeah,
pig. So if you like that kind of thing,
that's
little
crazy.
teacup piglet, yeah, it's insane.
That's
It's
cute.
smalls.
That's awesome. Very
It's
cool.
insane. So yeah, that's gonna be extremely fun and a nice way to like end off the year, right? I guess I know why you put your store on vacation now, right?
Yeah, because and a lot of people kind of DM me and got after me and were like, this is the biggest time of year. And I'm like, you know what? But if I don't control my time, why am I doing this? Like, am I the slave to my business or does it obey me? You know, like, and
Right.
I want to take time off and be with my family during the holidays. And if that means losing a few $1,000s, okay, because I've worked my butt off all year. I've
Right.
met my goals and I'm happy. So like, why does it matter? Anyway,
Yeah,
but yeah, that's
I kind of did mine around, so I was like, okay, we can leave on the 20th because like I'm not going to be shipping anything in. Like my last shipment to FBA will what is today, the 4th? Probably the 7th will be like the last time I send anything to FBA just cuz it's going to take,
yeah,
even if that
take
takes 5 days to
yeah,
get checked in, that'll be like the 12th and that'll give me like a good 7 to 9 days before that the standard FBA cutoff would be.
yeah,
Obviously, they can
definitely.
still get stuff if they order like next day. I think to the 23rd and maybe even the 24th.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
I'm not
yeah, I think it,
100%, but
but
it's
still, that's about
insane.
when I stop. Yeah.
We were doing we were still like 90% plus just books like mid like early November, and we were just doing like we would have $1,000 day, and that would be like a normal day, and if we got close to $2,000 day, it would be like pretty good day. And now we're like 60% toys right now, and we're having like 4,000 and $5,000 days every single day.
Oh yeah, that's amazing. But that's like the power of toys right now. Is
Right.
and I was smart enough this year to go into toys too, and even I'm seeing 4, 5, $600
Do
days
your kids
every
see the
day.
toys that you have for sale and want them?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, they go, oh mommy, you're selling this, aren't you? I'm like, yep, I am, and they're just like,
How
oh,
cute
like
is
that, but
that?
I really want it, and I'm like, well, like actually, that's another goal I have for next year is to have my kids open up their own eBay store and to start selling stuff on eBay and to have that sense of like that's honestly, I'd rather they learn that than like anything else. I want them to learn how to do this because this will benefit them the rest of their life.
Right.
Same with
Yeah.
reading,
So
like those are important, but to start
same,
their own
yeah,
store,
same
sell their
thing
own stuff.
with Luna. My 17-year-old, I started when she was in fifth grade, full or fifth grade, when she was 5 in kindergarten, full time.
Wow,
And so she's not really interested in it. I don't know what the deal is with her, but Luna's like, Dad, when I grow up, I want to be a hustler like you.
that's
And
very cool.
so I'm sure she'll get into it more. But since I started doing social media 2 years ago and I learned about the possibility of social media and what you could do with social media, you could get paid to go to London and go do a speaking gig and like
That's
have fun
awesome.
making videos and stuff like that. And so we started up Luna's YouTube channel, and we're trying to do one video a week right now on her channel, like toy unboxing type stuff. And eventually, we'll do like educational homeschool stuff, like basically just me teaching her homeschool lessons, little science experiments, stuff like that. So, like a standard kids channel, but like a little bit more educational, than just let's open up some toys.
That's awesome.
Um, and I consider that like a business, so like that's a business. She's learning how to be on a camera. stuff like that. So sharing that with her, and that's really awesome because I don't know how many people know this, but I dropped out of high school when I was 16. I don't have a degree. You know, I didn't go to college. My last job was I worked in a skate shop full time. I took home 750 every 2 weeks. That's the most money I made before I worked for myself. So it's very cool the different opportunities that reselling has afforded me and my family, and I'm very grateful for it.
Absolutely. And probably more opportunities than you would have had if you had just gone the standard route, because you're
Right.
only growing. There's no ceiling. You can grow and grow and keep growing. So,
Right, you can do whatever you want, and that's like a lot. Like you can always get a job, so you might as well try to resell stuff. And then like that's kind of how I feel about reselling too. Is like I could always, not that I'm not reselling, but obviously I'm taking a pay cut for reselling by doing social media because I don't make as much money doing social media than I do reselling. But it's to me, it's like I see more opportunity and more potential in social media and the personal branding than I do. Not saying that like more money to be made in this than that or whatever. I definitely like this more than that, but I don't know how long this like will be an opportunity, like how long, because our kids that are growing up, like your kids and Luna, they play with video cameras. Like that's a toy to them. So they're not going
mhm.
to be camera shy. There's no camera shy for the next generation of kids.
Yeah.
And by then, YouTube is probably going to be a lot more saturated or whatever platform it is. And it's, we're going to be older. We're going to have less of a chance to like identify with the mainstream audience that consumes the content. And so why not take a chance? I could always shut my YouTube down, sorry guys, got to shut it down and go back to the stuff that makes me real money. But
Hmm.
um, it's been fun.
Right. But you're right. It is like all of this stuff. This is like the wave of the future. E-commerce is the next. Look at all the brick and mortar stores that are going under, filing bankruptcy. This is the next wave. And like we're in it. Social media, e-commerce, and like it's important. Like I want to introduce my kids to that and make sure that they know how to navigate.
Yeah, right. And it's important to get your kids ready for the future. Like a lot of people, they would be like, why do you let your kid use the iPad? Now I'm really controlling about what I let her do on the iPad, educational stuff. Certain she's not just watching stuff, right? And not
Yeah.
just playing any random game. Educational games or certain stuff that I allow her to watch. But I think it's important to let them use the iPad because how else do you think they're going to be controlling technology in the future? It's going to
Yeah.
be an iPad-like interface, touch screens, or voice, and my kid's gonna know how to use it, and your kid's gonna be like, "What's this thing?" And my kid's gonna be like, "Here, boom, 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 boom." Like they have an advantage. Like don't be that person that's like, but they don't play outside anymore. Well, they also don't write in cursive. You know what I mean? Like you're not
Yeah.
gonna need those things. Like we're not gonna need handwriting in the future. It's gonna be all voice
Hmm.
or some kind of interface. It's for all I know, keyboards are gonna disappear in like 10 years.
Right. Right.
But
Absolutely.
yeah, you just got to stay abreast of like what's happening with the technology. Like I'm sure you have friends that like don't do social media at all, right?
Yeah, and that don't, or just have a very, they post, if they do it, they post these articles about um don't ever show your kids on social media, don't ever, it's the next drug wave is so screen time. And while I agree to some extent, and I mean I do have the background in psychology, so I feel like I agree to some extent that a unlimited social screen time and unlimited social media is like not healthy. But like at the same time, it's got to be hard. Like this is the wave of the future. We have to harness it for the good and the potential it has. And it's important that kids know how one of my best friends has a master's in educational technology, and she is just so smart with the way she has her kids use tech. She's not afraid of it. She's like, they use the iPad for educational games, and they've learned, they like know how to read at a young age, and they like have all these incredible skills. Because she's like, she and I have talked about this, like it is, it's here, you can't avoid it, you can't. It's like old people who pretend that the internet and computers don't exist and still write checks in the grocery line. Like no, this is
Right.
not, we're progressing and we need to stay with these times. It's
They're
not,
never
I
going to
don't think
figure
it's
out
healthy to
Bitcoin.
just, yeah, go right. Right. Like you go to join an Amish society if you feel like, I don't know, I don't, it's like I know it can't be avoided, let's embrace it for the incredible good it can do. With our phones, we earn an income. Like, that's insane. That's
Yeah, it's in your
crazy.
pocket.
It's in your pocket. Yes. And like from my phone, I've grossed, $150,000. That's insane. Like, so don't reject it. Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Awesome. Yeah. So if you're listening and you have kids and you're worried about it, don't be worried about it. Just, supervise it, a little bit,
Yeah,
take
supervise
all
it for
the
sure.
take all the dumb games off your phone or off the iPad and put on some educational games. If you don't know what's educational, let me know and I will, or like message me and I'll tell you like some of the ones that I let Luna play that she's
Mhm.
into. Actually probably should have her review those on her YouTube channel. That'd be good content.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
it's not just the super random stuff. It's actually helping her and it's education. It's a similar concept that I employ with television, right? Like I don't let her just watch anything. And even some children's programming, I'm just like I'll see it and I'll be like, this is making you dumber. You can't watch this.
Right.
Like
Yes, me too.
they're talking to you like a baby and I'm like, you're
So
5 years
yeah.
old, but you're like as educated as like some 12-year-olds. Like because her assessment, we do homeschooling, but she gets assessed once a month. They said she's reading at a fourth grade level,
Wow, that's
which is pretty cool.
unbelievable.
And so
Yeah.
it's like pretty much the only things she watches is like Bill Nye or Magic School Bus. That's pretty
Yeah.
much it. Or also Wild Kratts. She really likes Wild Kratts.
My kids like that too, and they also like reading Rainbow. They'll watch that, and it's so funny because like I watched that as a kid, but they
Right.
love it. They love LeVar Burton. But yeah, like exactly, like it has to be harnessed in a like it's a definite like it's a force for good and evil, just like most things that come out. There's incredible things that have happened with the internet, but also horrible things that are on there. Terrible, disgusting, off like the child sex trade is on the internet. Does that mean that we shouldn't use it ever, or does it mean
No.
that there's good sides to it and incredible, powerful, influential sides? So
Yeah, that's basically like saying you shouldn't go outside because a car could drive up onto the sidewalk and hit you. So don't go outside.
right, never go outside. Yeah,
A meteorite might hit you in the forehead. Don't do it.
right, exactly. Or yeah, never let your kids be on social media because someone could profile them and find them and take them. Like that's,
Yeah, well,
of
that's
course,
the
that's a
least of your
fear we
worries. You
have.
should like train your kids to like not go outside while you're in the bathroom, or
Yes,
whatever
exactly.
else is the
Don't lean
rules or
on your
whatever.
friends.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I hate it when people are like, "Oh, kids, they don't have any friends." I'm like, "Well, technically, they have 1,800 friends. Did you
Yeah.
see their profile?" Like,
Yeah. Yeah. That's very true.
and so
Um,
like back in the day, like all you had was like the kids that lived on your block, and that was it. Now you can have like all friends that are into like whatever you're into. Like everyone can have a circle of friends and not have to deal with like being judged from other people. Like which is obviously there's like plus and minus to that, I guess. You don't have to you don't learn those things you learn from those hardships or whatever, but I don't know. My other kid is 17 and she's about to get out of high school. She's a senior and she's like really really emotional about her friends. It's like the main thing of her life. And
uh-huh.
I'm just telling her like I'm super crude with it. I'm just like, wait, just wait. That day you walk across that stage, 75% of those people, they're never gonna call you again. You'll never
Right.
see them again. Like they're on to their
It's
life.
so
Like
true. It's
you
so
think you
true.
guys are like super connected and you're such best friends, but yet they don't come to your house. They don't come to your birthday parties. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You only see them in your group chats and at school where it's very easy to be your friend. So um and we're parents and stuff. So once you have kids, it's like who's your real friends? Like because when you have kids, you don't really go to people's house and hang out. It's like, yeah, you want to
No.
hang out, come over. I have kids.
Oh yeah. No, everything changes. Yep. No more hanging out at night. Everything changes. Nap times, everything is surrounded like it has to be scheduled around nap times, preschool time, sleep time. Yeah. It's never
Definitely.
the same, but yeah.
Well, I know you said you only had an hour and I got you for an hour and a half so far, so I apologize for that. I'm
It's
sure
all good.
your schedule has like 10 more things on it for the day to get it done.
No, it's all good. It's actually just a date night. My husband and I are gonna have just a quick date night because we haven't in
Just
a
a
really
little
long time.
Bitcoin conversation over dinner.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yep. So yeah, we're just that's all. But then yeah, tonight I actually got out 4 more shipments for Amazon. sent off my listing for eBay, and I'm pretty much good to go till the end of the year. So, hooray! I'm grateful right now because I'm really tired and I need a break.
Awesome. So, who are some people you would like to see me interview that I haven't interviewed yet?
Tech and sports.
Okay, you're the second person to say that.
He does like I feel like he does 2 or 3K a day on Amazon and eBay. And he's a
huge. I
one-man
just saw his thing.
operation.
He has like 8,000 items listed on eBay.
Yeah, he's like our age. I think he's like early 30s. So you're how old are you? 33?
33.
33, that's like me. Yeah.
And a third.
Geminis. I'm a Gemini. What are you?
I'm a Gemini. Me and my wife are both Geminis. My birthday is June 4th.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, May 26th. So
awesome.
Funny.
Gemini power.
Gemini power. So yeah, tech and sports for sure. I mean, you've interviewed so many incredible people. Have you interviewed the Rally Roots?
Yeah, I did.
You did.
A couple
okay.
episodes back.
I thought you did. Okay. And yeah, Glenn Hustler Hacks, I love. Hustle B, have you interviewed Ken? I'm sorry.
No, that's on the list too. Hustle B, I'm coming for you.
All my heart. He is so uplifting, and so he's grown his eBay store to incredible. I
always use him as an example. He's like my go-to example when people are like, "Well, you sell shoes, but I can't sell shoes on Amazon." And I'm like, "Well, have you heard of the Hustle Bee?" Oh no, you haven't? Well, go check out his wall.
He is a beast, and same with the clutch swag. My friend Kevin, he is he does shoes on eBay too, and he's the
I gotta get guy. Kevin on the show. He's awesome too. He's a Reezy ninja. He's been supporting me for a long time.
That's very cool. Very cool.
He got that swagger though. He comes with that style too.
Yeah, which I lack. Dang it! But people probably follow me just because I am a hot mess 90% of the time.
You have the hustle at home mom swagger. Look
at
that flannel swag, everybody.
Flannel. I'm rocking it.
Private label flannel swag 2018.
One day. Honestly, like I have a very good feeling about next year. I feel like I'm gonna learn.
I'm serious. You need to come through with the hustle at home mom headbands. And I haven't been watching your stories, but I'm assuming you still wear headbands when you go for runs or when you don't do your hair.
Now that it's winter again, I'm going to be wearing headbands and earmuffs and all that cute stuff. And then going on camera with it, which is great.
It's great.
People sometimes I'll get messages that are like, why do you look like that? And I'm like, I'm not, this isn't Tinder. I'm married. I'm okay. Like, I'm just trying
Why do you look like that? Jesus.
Yeah.
That is so rude.
It's totally fine. Like, people come, I get trolls, but so do you. Everyone gets trolls, it's all good.
Yeah. The wonderful thing about the internet is there's this thing called block and delete.
Exactly.
And I utilize it. I give people one warning. I'm like, look, you're allowed to have your opinion, and like if you want to like voice it in like a constructive manner, let's do it because I feel like I could benefit from that.
Yeah, for sure.
But if you're just here to hate, like you're like one click away from disappearing as far as I'm concerned. So
yeah. Definitely.
Like it's not worth my time to like go back at you to deal with it. Like if I'm not going to benefit from your constructive criticism of your opinion or whatever, like why would I not block you? Like why should I reply to you? Why would I get involved? Like I have other things to do, So
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I never engage because I just know that it just never works out. So I just either block, delete, move on, or say something nice and move on. But yeah, it's just or joke. Or you lean into it and just joke about it. But yeah, it just comes with the territory. It's all good. So
yeah, awesome. But you got to come with the headbands. I'm gonna be very mad. I'm gonna say if you don't come with the headbands, I'm gonna come with the headbands. I'm gonna make them, and then I'm gonna take a royalty.
Okay. Okay. All right. My feet are to the fire. I'll figure it out. I have a website. I have an area where I can.
I guarantee if you had headbands. I don't know what print on demand does headbands. That would obviously be easier, but you'd have better margin if you actually produced them. But like screw the margin because it's just really cool like to make shirts, and then people want to wear them, It's like it's a weird feeling. It's cool, but it's weird, but cool.
Crazy.
But I bet you sell 100 headbands overnight. Like especially if you dropped like a limited release. If you're watching this, on the live or later and you would buy a Hustle at Home Mom headband for yourself or your wife or yourself if you're female, put that in the comments. because that
All
would help
right.
Ashley understand that there's demand for her merch. You have 20,000 followers on Instagram, and like
By
you
accident, I swear.
you could have merch.
I
What's up with
could.
your YouTube? Are you going to be posting more videos?
I suck. I suck at YouTube. I should. Next year I have a goal to do more. I lose confidence in myself. I don't think that anyone would want to hear anything I have to say. So I put it
Right.
out there and I'm like, I just don't think that
What
when
about here? How about this? Like you do a lot of work on your Instagram stories. Why don't you just save your stories and put those on YouTube? Like just
I
make
could
a
do
little
that.
intro. Just
I
make
could do
because
that.
YouTube supports full screen portrait mode like this
Oh,
way.
really? Okay.
So if you upload the Instagram video just like that, it will stay like that. And so if you edited a little quick intro that was also that format and put it all together, like I could help you and it'd be like hustle at home mom,
Very
Instagram
cool.
stories,
I guess I
and then like
could. Then
throw
it
that
would just
up.
be
And then
out
at
there.
least the reason I say do the intro is just so people don't like hate on your quality or whatever. And you're like, look, I'm too busy to do YouTube, but here at least you can have this because it disappears every day on Instagram. And if you put even just 5 or 10 minutes into your Instagram story a day, why not preserve that? Because there's bound to be some value later for other people. So just save them, like set an alarm on your phone, like sometime after you're done doing Instagram every day and save it.
Hmm.
And then upload those to YouTube, at least until you're ready for it. And maybe the feedback that you get from those will encourage you to make more YouTube videos.
That's true. That would be a very easy way to just put the content out there. And then I just have to tell myself it's worth putting out there because I just think, well, I'm glad that the Instagram stories disappear because what am I talking about anyway? But maybe
Yeah,
it'd be
but
good
at
to just
least the
put it
way
out
I look at it is that like at least you could look back at your own self and like laugh at yourself,
there.
or at least have it. Like now I'm like
That's true.
I'm doing more family stuff and I'm like cool because this is what I like and what I want to keep and know like how we were and what we were doing like
Yeah.
you can see it, like I just posted right before this show I posted a YouTube video which is the NorCal reseller meetup.
Hmm.
And if I wouldn't have made that video, it wouldn't exist and there would be no like I watched that video and I remember that night and I feel like I'm there again, so that makes me really happy regardless of if anybody else watches it.
Yeah. That's very cool. Yeah. That it does preserve memories, and that's a huge part of why I want to do it too, for sure.
Awesome.
Gotta get on that. Okay, I'm on it. Let's do
Real
it.
real quick, a couple of things before we leave. What is one tip you really wish you would have known like the day you started? Like what is that one thing if you had like 5 seconds to tell yourself something when you first started, what tip would it be that would have helped you out the most?
It would have been that just because the price on Amazon is that right now, it doesn't mean that it will stay. And pay attention to average sales rank. Those are the two things that I would say.
Awesome. That's a huge nugget. A lot of people don't notice. They look at sales rank and they're like, "Oh, darn it, it's 1 million." And you're like, "But the average is 650, baby."
Yeah, right.
We're
Right.
talking books,
So right.
obviously, if we're talking that high of
Right.
numbers.
Books, yeah, books for sure. But even toys sometimes. Like I sent in a Creepy Crawlers bug set from the 90s. Rank was 450,000 in toys, but I know from experience that there were no FBA sellers. That's
Oh
not I
yeah.
mean that's no tip, but and there were no sellers at all.
Yeah,
It
that's one
sold the
thing that a
day
lot
like
of
it hit
people
the
don't
warehouse.
know is they
Yeah.
think that bad rank means bad, but
Yeah.
there's something everyone should learn is that if bad rank with a good supply is bad, but bad rank with bad supply might be good because
Yes.
that FBA supply can be contributing to the bad rank because most people only buy FBA. So
Right.
I do the same thing. I'll buy shoes or items that are way out of my normal range of rank, but I'm looking at it going, there's no FBA offer. I
Yeah.
bet when I send this in, it sells. And it
And then
does.
it does. Yep. Exactly. Yeah. So that's what I would have told myself.
Awesome. Great. Well, one other thing we like to do before we leave is I let the interviewee ask the audience a question. So you can ask them anything and you can get a reply. I mean, it's not Gary V. You're not going to get 1,000 replies, but you might get 10 or 20 or 50 replies. So you can ask them anything about your own stuff, how you're helping them, whatever you want.
Hmm.
Maybe it could be about Bitcoin, whatever, doesn't matter.
Like advice, asking them for advice.
If you want to ask them, just
Okay. Okay. Just any
it's just
question.
you can ask my audience a question, and then they're gonna answer it in the comments on the video, and then you can come back onto my video and like engage with them on there.
Very cool. I would ask about private label. Those who have done it, how long did it take you to learn? How much capital? And when did you start seeing profit happen? I would ask that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
And I'll jump in the comments. That'd be really cool. Like tomorrow and look. That would help me a
Nice.
ton.
Great, guys. So those of you that are watching that have done private label, Ashley's looking for some expertise. So that would be awesome for you to help her out. Did you see the videos I did? I did one with Matt Loberstein and one with Joshua Crisp, both private label sellers.
Oh no, I'm gonna have to watch those. That's
Okay,
awesome.
well, who
Probably
knows if
lots
you
of
have
good.
time to watch it, but when I get the podcast up, I will send you a link
Oh
because I
yes,
know
thank you.
you have a little bit of time on your 5-mile run every morning,
Right.
which
When
is
I read
making me feel like such a wuss because I feel like I
no,
would die if I ran 2 miles right now.
no way. I go slow. I'm like a Clydesdale. I go slow and shuffle along, but it just is peaceful for me. But yeah, if it
Yeah,
was in podcast form, I would listen for sure.
awesome. Yeah, that's why we got to get it to audio. Yeah, I don't think we have anything else to cover really.
Cool.
It's been awesome having you. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. It's been really fun.
So we got something we say around here. You know what we say?
What?
We say, if you ain't flipping.
If you ain't flipping, you slipping, right?
Yep. Yep. Awesome. I'm
Awesome.
glad
It's
that you're
true.
flipping. I'm glad that we met, and I'm really thankful for the internet, of course, as always.
Yeah, definitely. We wouldn't have met without it, and I would have met half of the most amazing people that I know who are on
Right?
Instagram. So
It's
yeah,
crazy because, like you said, you're not going to be talking to your neighbors about what they don't care.
right.
They either don't care or they feel like you're bragging. So it's awesome to have
Right.
the online community.
It is. It's really a blessing for sure.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me on, or for coming on to my. Thanks for having me on your show. Thanks for coming on my show.
Yeah,
And
anytime.
maybe we'll have you back on the show sometime later after you get all those car parts cleared out, and you can talk about
Yeah,
what you learned about that.
I would love to. I would love to.
Awesome. Don't
All
sleep
right.
on that merch. I need my Hustle at Home Mom headband.
That's on my agenda too. Okay, two things on my agenda. We'll do
Awesome.
it.
Okay, have a great date night, Ashley.
Okay,
Tell your
thanks.
husband I'm sorry for holding you up.
It's all good.
All right.
Thanks. Okay,
Bye.
bye.